Ancient Chinese winter hack shocks survival experts. Heat your home with zero power. If you think the modern world invented off-grid living, you're in for a shock. The Chinese were warming their homes through brutal winters long before gas lines, electric grids, or diesel heaters ever existed. And, the methods they engineered were so efficient, so clever, and so rugged that even today's preppers could steal a few pages from their playbook. This is the kind of old-world knowledge that flips your idea of survival on its head. And hey, if you're the kind of person who loves uncovering forgotten systems like this, hit subscribe to the Prepper's Survival Blueprint channel, because we dig deeper than anyone else. Let's step straight into the heart of ancient winter warfare and reveal how people stayed warm when failure wasn't uncomfortable. It was deadly. The secret of the warm walls. In northern China, winters can bury a village under ice and wind that slices like a blade. But step inside an old cottage, and the first thing you might notice is that the walls themselves feel warm. This wasn't magic, it was engineering. Craftsmen built hollow brick walls connected to the home's cooking stove. Every time the household cooked a meal, breakfast, lunch, dinner, the leftover heat and smoke travelled through hidden channels inside those walls. The bricks absorbed the heat slowly, then released it for hours. No wasted fuel, no extra fire, no cold spots. For modern preppers, the genius is simple. Use one fire for two jobs. Cook your food, heat your shelter. That's the kind of efficiency survivalists dream about. The two-room fire trick. Here's another ancient trick that feels almost unfair in its simplicity. Many rural homes placed their cooking stove against a dividing wall. When the family cooked on one side, the opposite side, the living room, quietly absorbed the heat through thick masonry. The wall became a slow-burning thermal battery. Heat in the kitchen meant comfort in the living room. Even today, this concept is gold for off-grid cabins. Build thermal mass where heat naturally strikes. Then let the wall do the rest. The heated bench that ruled the winter. If you've never sat on a stone or brick platform gently radiating heat into your legs and back, it's honestly hard to explain how luxurious survival can feel. Ancient Chinese families knew that staying warm wasn't just about air temperature. It was about warming the body's core. So they engineered heated benches that snaked smoke beneath a thick slab of stone or brick. The smoke travelled slowly, warming the platform, then escaped through a chimney. The result was a heated seat that stayed warm for hours after the fire died. Kids studied there, elders napped there, families talked long into the dark, bitter nights. This wasn't just heat, it was comfort engineered by necessity. For preppers designing small-space living, these platforms represent the perfect union of simplicity and efficiency. Warm the mass, and the mass warms you. Now let's talk about one of the cleverest double-duty inventions from the old world. The warm table. Builders connected small flues beneath a wooden table to the smoke channels from a cooking fire. As the smoke passed through, it gave off its heat, turning the table into a warm workspace perfect for sewing, prepping food, or planning the next day's tasks. Once again, no extra firewood burned, no extra fuel consumed, just efficient use of a fire that already needed to burn. For modern homesteaders, this is one of those ancient hacks that screams practicality. Warm where you work. Warm where you plan. Warm where you gather. Among the most impressive systems was a massive stone heater, a thick, heavy masonry block that acted like a giant battery of stored heat. Families would light a small fire inside its chamber. The fire didn't need to burn long. Once the stones soaked up the heat, they would slowly radiate warmth through the entire night. The brilliance here lies in timing. Burn a short fire. Release heat for hours. Sleep in deep, silent warmth. It's the same principle behind modern masonry heaters. Except these ancient designs ran on scraps of fuel and a deep understanding of how stone behaves under heat. Before stoves, before channels, before brick platforms, there was the ground-level fire pit, a sunken hearth built into the floor. This wasn't just a campfire dragged indoors. Builders created carefully designed pits with grates, airflow, and walls that absorbed heat. Because the fire burned low, warmth stayed near the body, where it mattered most. It was personal heat, primitive but powerful. People gathered with blankets and tools, tending food, stories, and embers through the long winter nights. This was winter survival at its oldest and purest. Long before the word solar became trendy, Chinese builders were harvesting winter sunlight like pros. They added south-facing enclosures with glass or translucent panels that trapped heat during daylight hours. Warm air pooled in these sunrooms, then drifted into the living areas. Floors and walls absorbed the sunlight and released it after sunset. A free, natural heater, built centuries before photovoltaic panels. For off-grid living, it's a reminder that sometimes the most effective energy source is the one rising over the horizon every morning. This is one of the most universal survival tricks in the world, and the Chinese perfected it thousands of years ago. Stones were heated in a fire, wrapped in cloth or leather, and carried into beds or placed under clothing layers. Because stone holds heat so well, it provided portable warmth through bitter nights. Soldiers used them, travellers relied on them, families tucked them into blankets. No power, no fire risk, just nature doing what nature does. In some regions, builders stacked ceramic tubes to form a chimney that rose through the living space. As hot smoke travelled upward, the clay absorbed the heat and radiated it into the room. The chimney itself became a heater, elegantly simple, incredibly effective. Travellers wrote about inns where the chimney kept entire rooms warm long after the fire burned down. One of the most surprisingly advanced systems involved heating sand or gravel beneath the floor. Builders created shallow cavities filled with hot stones, warm smoke, or heated sand that radiated warmth upward through the entire room. Warm feet, warm floor, warm home. This system appeared hundreds of years before underfloor heating became a modern luxury.